Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a special episode of Carving Up Live. It's the Carving Up Live 2023 NBA Free Agency Special. I am Bryson Carver. It's the second year in a row we've done a show like this. Ramps, potentially a couple of guests, certainly one joining the show anytime now, but listen, this is the fun part of the NBA offseason. Listen, the draft is fun. I don't want my man Mike Guido to get mad at me because obviously doing the draft show with him every year since 2021 has been a blast. You'll have some trades here and there. We've talked about Damian Lillard the last couple of weeks, and now James Harden. Now his name has entered the fray into the trade mix. But we've already got our first deal right off the bat. Let me sound again. No intro today, no show format, but it looks like we got something. Breaking news, according to Shams Charania. I was waiting for this. Draymond Green and Clutch Sports have agreed on a 4-year, $100 million contract to return to the Golden State Warriors, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Draymond Green's back. It is official. So that's our first bomb to start free agency. Draymond Green is back in Golden State. I was waiting on that news. And by the way, something else too, folks. Throughout the night, we are going to have a free agency tracker. So here you go, like the guards, for example. Here's all, like, to me, those are the 24 best free agent guards. You see Josh Hart's the only guy to this point who has signed a long-term or decided to opt into his contract. Then he got centers, only 12 of those. Plenty of centers off the board already. Obviously, Porzingis to trade to the Celtics. Vucevic signed a long-term deal in Chicago. Andre Drummond opted into his deal with the Bulls as well. So they got their two centers locked up. Naz Reid is going to return to the Minnesota Timberwolves. I was kind of hoping my Warriors would be able to get him. And then free agent forwards, I was waiting, but we can go ahead and put the graphic up. Here's the best forwards available. And if you look there on the top left up there, Draymond Green, you see the Warriors logo next to him. It is official. Draymond Green back with the Golden State Warriors, my Golden State Warriors, on a 4-year, $100 million contract. By the way, that sounds like a little bit, in terms of a year-to-year basis, kind of a bargain. Because if you look at how Golden State, because I was thinking 3-year, $100 million, which would obviously mean he makes around, on average, $33 million a year, as opposed to now $25 million. Maybe frees about $8 million cap space. Listen, I'm not a capologist. That's what they do in Golden State. But listen, at this point, it became inevitable. It did. Once Jordan Poole was traded to the Washington Wizards, we understand the history there. I know some guy, Cameron, what's his name, was reporting. I don't know if he was reporting or if he was just throwing stuff in the rumor mill. I don't know if he actually heard what happened, but apparently he got wind apparently of what Jordan Poole allegedly said to Draymond Green in the infamous punch all the way back in October. So at that point, it became a situation where you got to move one or the other. You're not going to move the guy that's won you 4 championships, been a defensive player of the year. Just last year was second team all defense. And by the way, to the folks that say, hey, well, is Draymond still valuable to the Golden State Warriors? Yeah, he is. Here's the graphic I showed on my show on Monday. This is just last season. We went to what have you done for me lately? Well, Draymond Green's still pretty valuable to the Golden State Warriors. Tied for 4th, the Warriors were with Draymond Green in offensive rating. Tied for 19th in defensive rating, which ain't great, but you wait till you see what it looks like when Draymond's gone. And 2nd in points per game was Draymond Green this year when he was in the Warriors lineup. Without him, offensive rating at 27th, defensive rating 27th, points per game 27th. So listen, Golden State was a disaster last year, and for the record, has always never been quite to the level that we expect them to be from an offensive and certainly defensive standpoint without Draymond Green. So to have him long-term in Golden State, sticking with Steph Curry, again, the future of Klay Thompson is still kind of up in the air. Does he sign an extension? Do the Warriors let him play it out, become a free agent next offseason? Do they move Klay Thompson? It looks like we've got our second deal. Listen, Rich Paul holds some serious power in the NBA. Let's get the, hold on, let's get the, all right, so Trey Lyles has agreed, this is according to Chris Haynes, there's no details on the agreement quite yet in terms of the compensation, the years, the money, anything of that nature, but Trey Lyles is returning to the Sacramento Kings. League sources tell Bleach Report and the NBA on TNT. So you got Chris Haynes reporting that Trey Lyles is coming back. We've got another deal here. Do we? Okay. Big news for Cleveland. Oh my gosh. Okay, folks. Now the deals are just flowing in. I was waiting for a minute, but the deals are flowing in free agency. So we got a couple more here. So, according to Woj, Cavs guard Karis LeVert has agreed on a new 2-year, $32 million deal to return to Cleveland. So Karis LeVert returning to the Cavs. Now you got Drew Eubanks. Okay, this is actually a nice pickup. Drew Eubanks going to the Phoenix Suns. Okay, so they actually get a decent player coming off the bench to back up DeAndre Ayton, or if they were, we know they were talking to Kyrie Irving, a potential move for Kyrie Irving, and maybe Drew Eubanks becomes their starting big. Okay, wait a minute. We got another one. Here we go. Wow. Oh my goodness. Let's play the air horn for this one. Or actually, no, wait a minute. Actually, the Beethoven sound, it matches better. Bruce Brown is signing with the Indiana Pacers. Wow. I thought for sure he's coming back to Denver. Well, Indiana's got a lot of cap space. And listen, Bruce Brown got his ring. He's coming back. You assume he's coming back to try and help the Nuggets run it back. That's a big loss for Denver. Okay, Taurean Prince. This is a big deal for the Lakers. Taurean Prince is finalizing a deal, this according to Shams, with the Los Angeles Lakers. Okay, so like I said, these deals are just flying in. This is great. This is great. John Rivera summing it up beautifully with the money bag emoji. Listen, a lot of guys getting paid right now. You know, Bruce Brown definitely got a very, very lucrative deal if he's leaving the Nuggets to go to the Indiana Pacers. Gonna have to update some of these graphics I got in place here because, man, it is just flying in. Let's see. We got where's Bruce Brown down here? I'm looking at my graphic on Canva that I'm trying to get ready. Let's see. We got another one. Oh, wow. That's surprising. That is surprising. Okay. How about this, folks? According to Woj, Kyle Kuzma has agreed on a 4-year, $102 million contract to return to the Washington Wizards. Okay, so we knew Sacramento was interested. I think it seemed like I remember another contender being interested in Kyle Kuzma's services. I'm surprised he's going back to Washington. My only guess is, listen, he had a career year there. He was either last year or the year before that. He's played solid in Washington, albeit for a team that's not really going anywhere. That's why they traded Bradley Beal. But maybe he views it like, hey, it's my team now. I don't know, but listen, a lot of stuff coming in. But listen, the only thing that right now, like, truly, truly matters to me is that Draymond is coming back to Golden State. Not that I didn't already know ahead of time. Wait, we got another one. Oh, never mind. That's just Kyle Kuzma staying. My bad. Let's see. Yeah, John Rivera, good deal. Thought he would have gotten more money. Yeah, which obviously he makes more money with staying with the team that he's currently with. That's how the CBA works. Okay. All right, so just to listen, they're going to be coming in throughout the day. A ton of free agent deals. Again, once our guests get in here, I'm gonna work on the graphics we got here on the best available free agents, because this one I got here, some of the best free agent guards, centers, and forwards. Kind of a little behind. But listen, we're going to have fun for the next hour and a half, 2 hours, however long we're here. This is going to be a blast. This is what I love about free agency, and it's the thing about free agency that I get a kick out of every year. So free agency almost always kicks off on this day, June 30th, at this time, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, which is perfect because it's right when my show usually starts, which is why I love it. But what I love about this whole free agency, craziness is the fact that you've got, it technically, teams can negotiate at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific time on June 30th. And then right when the date hits, this guy signs a $100 million contract. Oh, this guy signed an extension. This guy's going here. It's like, yeah, they negotiated in 30 seconds, I'm sure. Let's see. What do we got here? Okay. John, you're going to like this, unless if you commented. Yeah, see, Mike Guido said, Cavs brought back Karis LeVert, 2 years, $32 million. I did mention that one. That's a good deal for Cleveland. I really like Karis LeVert. Okay. You're going to like this. Maybe you'll like this one, John. It involves your Bulls. Free agent guard Kobe White has agreed on a 3-year, $40 million deal to stay with the Chicago Bulls. That tells me that Lonzo Ball is going to be out even longer than we expected. Obviously, there was reports that he was going to, obviously be gone in the likely for this upcoming season, but they want to be stable at the point guard position. Kobe White gives them that. Doesn't give you the upside that Lonzo does, but doesn't matter if Lonzo is healthy. So there you go. All right. So, okay. DeAndre Jordan is returning to the Denver Nuggets. According to Chris Haynes, no information on the compensation on that deal yet, but DeAndre Jordan coming back to the Denver Nuggets. We'll see if, probably a 1-year deal just to back up Jokic. He actually got some finals minutes, which surprised me a little bit. Yeah, John talking about Kobe White. He says, I like the deal. Yeah, it's a solid deal for a productive point guard in the NBA. What's Kobe White average? 10, 11, 12 points a game, something like that. He's a productive player. Might average more than that. Probably does. By the way, though, I like the Taurean Prince deal to the Lakers, though. I think that one makes a lot of sense. And by the way, there's a lot of reporting, like the Lakers' big priority, like a lot of teams have priorities, like Golden State, and I've said it since the offseason started, priority number one, keep Draymond Green. At any cost, you keep Draymond Green. Hats off to my man, Mike Dunleavy Jr. on doing just that and ensuring that he could do so in trading Jordan Poole. Thank you, Mike Dunleavy Jr. But the Lakers, their two priorities, keep Austin Reeves, keep Rui Hachimura, and Austin Reeves, I saw there was a report that they're expected to offer him like 4 years. I forgot how much money it was. 4 years, 100 million or something like that. 152 million. So there you go. Man. Yeah, this can be pretty nuts. Okay, so yeah, look at the Draymond Green news. Obviously, Warriors Twitter, as I'm all over this. They're celebrating as they should. Very, very excited to have the second most important member of this dynasty back on a long-term deal. Obviously, we know Steph's the man. This dynasty is nothing without Steph. Matter of fact, there is no dynasty without Steph, but I think there's no dynasty without Draymond Green as well. And that's with all due respect to Klay Thompson. Again, so we hit a little bit of a slow patch, a rare one, albeit. Okay, Keita Bates-Diop has agreed to a 2-year, $5 million deal with the Phoenix Suns. He will now have a chance to offer to earn a small forward spot. Okay, so we got another deal. So Phoenix adds another player to the bench. That's going to be the real key for Phoenix is what the heck do they do? What do they do? Like in terms of their bench, because you got 4 players in Beal, KD, Book, and Ayton taking up 75% of their salary cap. It's going to be kind of difficult to really get anything done in that regard in terms of adding adequate role players. Now, I know a lot of folks talk about Campaign, and Campaign's a nice backup point guard. It appears he's going to be their starter this year. Not real sure where he can take them, although I like him. I know there's the old, remember 2021, there was the Campaign for Campaign. There was all that thing going on. But it would appear, it looks like we're going to have our first guest on the show tonight. Let me make sure there's no other free agent news because I don't want that to interfere. So there you go. Okay. He is the host of Sports PSP Anywhere on social media and the Commander's Demand podcast here on the Grid Network. Would you please welcome to the show, Parnell? Parnell, a lot of stuff going on, man. How you doing?
Good, man. I just heard the breaking news regarding Draymond Green, the 4-year, $100 million contract, and then the Wizards with Kyle Kuzma. So, but I'm doing good. I just finished work. As far as with Draymond, look, once Jordan Poole got traded, they're going to find a way to keep Draymond. So one of them had to go, either Draymond or Jordan Poole. So they're going to keep Jordan Poole.
The Draymond Green.
I think
keep Draymond Green.
CP3 there, he should be great for the bench role. Yeah. Yeah, you keep Draymond Green and you also have CP3, so you get 2 facilitators. I think CP3 could be great off the bench. As far as with the Wizards with Kyle Kuzma, okay, you have to keep somebody because now you lost Porzingis. And also to Jordan Poole, I believe Jordan Poole is going to lead the NBA as far as shot attempts this season. I know you're going to ask me about James Harden and Kyrie Irving. He picked up the $35.6 million option, James Harden, I think because of the money, of course. The Clippers and the Knicks, from what I've heard, that they're the 2 teams that might be intrigued with him. I think if the Clippers, he should go to the Clippers. I don't see the Knicks. The Clippers, because Kawhi and PG, they get hurt constantly. I would keep Russell Westbrook, but I would keep him on the bench. I think Russ coming off the bench wouldn't mind. I mean, after all, this may be his last home in an NBA uniform. Let him stay in LA. Let him finish his career back at home. As for Harden, he's going back home as well. Him and Russ are from Cali. And Harden can still contribute. He can still give you 20 and 10. He could still facilitate the offense, which is what the Clippers could need. With him, with the Knicks, I mean, you pair him up with Randall, Brunson, RJ Barrett. I mean, left-handed players in New York.
Yeah.
And how's the defense going to be? So that's going to be concerned there. I would like James Harden to play with the Clippers. And with Kyrie, he's expected to meet with the Suns in the beginning of free agency. How's this going to be for KD's legacy? How many more super teams could you possibly have, honestly, and still can't deliver a
I'm gonna cut you off
championship?
there. I'm gonna cut you off there, Parnell. I think this quote unquote super team, it's a super starting four. After that, it's abysmal. Now they just signed Drew Eubanks, and we'll see if this, if he's their backup center, if they move Ayton, if he's their starting center, we'll see what happens in that regard. Do we have another deal here? Damian Lee was returning the Phoenix Suns. Okay, so there's another guy there that they're adding to their bench. I think we're going to have our third guest on here, making some time out for the free agency special. It is the host of the All Even podcast and the co-founder of the Grid Network. It is Barry Grant Jr. Barry, what is going on, my man? How you doing?
I'm here on vacation, so I'm in a mood. I'm in a very uncensored mood. So if you expect me to be some cookie cutter guest, it's not gonna happen today.
Okay,
What's wrong with
we don't want you to. We don't want you to fake anything out. By the way, this Damian Lee is a 2-year deal with a player option, just reported by Woj. Do you have any early takeaways, Barry? I know your Lakers just signed Taurean Prince. Is there any takeaways on that?
I think Taurean Prince is a solid 3-and-D type of player, long wing. He's not somebody who's ball dominant. He's a perfect type of LeBron James type of player, spot up shooter. Hit a high percentage of his knockdown shots last year in regards to just catch and shoot stuff. So he's a prototypical player for the Lakers system, and what they're trying to build in Lakerland right now is keep the core that they had last year, as well as just continue to build with that defensive culture, long wings, interchangeable guys that can be able to hit the three. So they're
Defense.
good with losing Malik Beasley now because you have a Taurean Prince.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. And obviously, I think he provides a little bit more of the defensive end than Malik Beasley does. Obviously, Malik Beasley.
I provide more on the defensive end than Malik Beasley does.
That's true. He was a bit of a liability. That and his
Wow.
let's just put it, streaky shot making was a big factor.
Did he make a three in the Lakers uniform? Did he?
Not in the playoffs that I remember, at least.
I don't remember. I don't remember any.
John's just trying to get you in a better mood, Barry. He's trying to.
No, I'm in a great mood. I'm just not in a cookie.
You don't seem like in a great. You seem like in a piss mood.
Well, I'm good.
No,
Let's see. Trying to say, did we got another free agent deal? Let's see. Nope. That's nothing.
just
Just trying to.
and Kyle Kuzma, from what I've heard.
Okay, we just got a news on the compensation for Taurean Prince. It's 1 year, $4.5 million.
Oh my goodness, you talk value.
That's a bar.
Yeah.
That's a really nice deal. For
Shouts to Rob. Hey, wins again.
It's a solid deal. Let's see if we got any. Obviously, Karis LeVert again returning to Cleveland. Our guy Guido's obviously happy about that. I've always been a huge Karis LeVert fan. Also, again, the big news thus far, my man Draymond Green returning to Golden State seemed somewhat inevitable, especially after the trade of Jordan Poole. But
no shocker there. I was shocked that he took the same money that he took last year.
I think what he wanted is the long-term security, the long-term money. And also what it does is it frees up a little bit in cap space this year, because I thought it was going to be a 3-year deal. The fact that it's a 4-year, get to stretch it out a little bit, maybe add another guy. And there's reports about Dario Saric potentially. So
so he saves them a little bit of cash.
Yeah, he does. I'm shocked, and either of you can chime in on this. I'm shocked at how many okay role players that Phoenix has added. Again, you got Damian Lee. I like Drew Eubanks. I think he's a solid fit there. Okogie, Bates Diop. So I'll start with you, Parnell. Do you think Phoenix, puts themselves in a position to maybe shore up that bench a little bit?
Hell no. They ain't going. No, I mean, come on. That team right there, they're not going that far. At best case scenario, they'll make the playoffs, but they'll probably lose in the first round. So that's really about it with Phoenix. The biggest thing I need to know about free agency, what is Kyrie going to do? Lakers? Is it the Suns? Or is he going to stay in Dallas and take the money?
Don't mention our name, partner. We don't want it.
I hope that happens.
Oh, you don't want him, but you feel comfortable with D'Lo?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with D'Lo.
I'd take D'Lo over Kyrie, but yeah, that's where I'd go. By the way, the shocker thus far free agency through the first 20 minutes or so, Bruce Brown go to the Indiana Pacers. Now, I guess that
was
caught
a
me off
shock.
guard a little bit. I thought he was
That
going
was
to
a
come back to
shock.
Denver, but again, I guess he views it from the standpoint of, look, I've got my ring. Now let me go get my money, get my payday. And the
How much
Pacers,
did he sign for?
this is the report from Woj. Was it 4 years? No, all it says is just $22.5 million. So he got paid
No,
Oh,
happy for him.
22.5 per.
per. Yes,
Okay, I mean, yeah. So it's definitely
2 years. 2 years.
2 years.
2
Okay,
years,
so we
45
got
mil.
okay. Oh, 2 years, 25 mil,
45 mil.
45 mil. Excuse me. Okay, so yeah, he looked at it like because there was a lot of teams, including the Lakers, that they were going to offer him the full mid-level. Then
Right.
the full, which is like $12 million a year. So that in itself, he got almost double that. Yeah, you go for the money. You got your
Absolutely.
ring. Now it's time to, for you to be able to establish yourself as a starting player in this league. You know what I mean? I'm sure he'll be competing for a starting spot. And then people can be able to start looking at him in a different light. Takes a 2-year deal. If he plays well in Indiana, he can be able to sign a long-term deal with them or go somewhere else. So I think he played his hand particularly well. Got the championship, earned the respect around the league to be a guy that can be able to come in and score 20 plus points off the bench. It's a win-win for him. So kudos to Bruce Brown. I can't stand him, but shouts to him for getting that big deal.
Got another domino that just fell real quick, partner. Got another domino. Jeremy Grant has signed a 5-year, $160 million contract to return to Portland. So this is obviously Dame wanted him to come back. Obviously, I know there was the mention about bringing Jeremy Grant and Draymond Green. We'll obviously bring back Jeremy Grant. Draymond signs in Golden State. Do you think, I'll start with you, Parnell, do you think this slightly increases Dame's chances staying in Portland? Because it looks like, I talked about in yesterday's show, it looks like he's looking for every excuse to stay.
He's looking for every excuse to say, especially according to Chris Haynes' report. I just think that for Dame, what do you want to do? I mean, you're about to be 33, and not only that, you want to put yourself in the best position possible to win a championship. I would like to see Dame go to Miami. I think he'd be great for the Heat. He'd be a better fit for the Heat there because you have a closer to help out Jimmy Butler as well. He's great off the ball. He can hit perimeter shots. He can help you out with the playmaking. So I think Miami would be great. As for Portland, you just want to start reconstructing this team. You drafted Scoot Henderson with the 3rd overall pick. Why not? And also Chicago, they agreed to a 3-year, $40 million deal with Kobe White.
Right. Yeah. So that's, again, our 4 biggest deals thus far. Kuzma, 4 years, $102 million. Draymond, 4 years, $100 million. Bruce Brown, 2 years, $45 million. And then Jeremy Grant just now, 5 years, $160 million. So obviously guys getting paid right now. Again, Miami is the team to watch because there's a lot of reports circulating today. It looks like Max Strus is probably gone, likely to Cleveland, which I think would be a good fit with the Cavs. They need shooters. Let's see. Do we got another one? No, that's just okay. Okay. We got an extension here. Boston Celtics signed Kristaps Porzingis to a 2-year, $60 million extension. So they get him locked up for the next couple of years. So very interesting considering he's yet to play a dribble with them yet. We have questions about his health.
Another bad deal by Boston.
Yeah, another bad idea by Boston, you think?
Yep.
Okay.
Why, given his durability history?
Yeah, you're just gonna give away money to a guy that can't show you that he can play more than 60 games a season, if that.
I mean, he played 65 games last year, but still, it's a fair question.
And the thing is, he's a big guy that doesn't play big. The problem with the Celtics is that they have a lot of guys that are tweeners. All of their players are tweeners. Right. They all have guys that don't really have a natural position. What is Jason Tatum's real natural position? Is it a 3? Is he a 4? What is Jaylen Brown's real position? Is he a 2? Is he a 3? Is he a 4? Like, you don't necessarily know. So the problem is that they don't have guys that are true skill set guys at that particular spot. And Kristaps kind of fits that same mold. That he doesn't really have a position. So, not really a big deal to me. They'll be out in the second round because of him.
And plus, I think the only reason why I still think they'll probably get to the conference finals. I think the only concern is with Boston. the loss of Marcus Smart, but fortunately for you, you were able to still keep Malcolm Brogdon
They
because
won't
of
miss
what
Marcus Smart.
yeah.
They won't miss him.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Smart was never the true point guard they needed. Again, I think Brogdon's much more comfortable coming out the bench.
I'm just talking about what he does on the defensive side of the court.
Yeah.
I think even there, Parnell, I think he's not the guy that he used to be. I think he's lost a step on the defensive end too. You had a guy that if he's not giving you what he gave you in the defensive player of the year season that he had, because I put that in air quotes because it shouldn't have won it. And he can't give you anything offensively, then what good is he? You saw the liability that he was in the playoffs. He continues to be that. And now Memphis picked it up. So you go from Dylan Brooks to him.
But I think for Memphis is a better situation for Marcus Smart than Dylan Brooks because I think he's the type of person that can talk to Ja Morant and help him as far as on or off the court.
If his father can't talk to him, no player will.
I said, it's funny when that trade was made, I said last week, we are making the automatic assumption that the Grizzlies, John, and everybody else are just going to listen to Marcus Smart. Listen, I know Steven Adams does have the credentials that Marcus Smart has in terms of career accomplishments, but
he's respected.
He's a respected veteran in the NBA, and they essentially laughed him out of the building anytime he tried to call a team meeting. So,
and like for Marcus Smart, what accolades does he bring? Does he have any rings? Does he have anything that what is he bringing to say, hey, y'all got to be able to do this? You ain't been nowhere neither. So,
I mean, he's playing the finals. So, I mean, he's got that over Steven Adams. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
But also too, Marcus Smart had some issues on and off the court during his time in Oklahoma State, which is why it kind of fell in the draft. That's why he was the 6th overall pick. It's better to have something than nothing, considering if you're Memphis. And if you're Memphis, you got to have someone to mentor Ja. I understand to Barry's point, he doesn't listen to his parents. If you're not going to listen to your own mom and father, who are you going to listen to? But if you're Memphis, you got to give him at least something other than just Steven Adams to mentor him.
Real quick, guys, Troy Brown 1-year deal with the Minnesota Timberwolves. I didn't know he was a clutch client. I didn't realize how many clutch clients there were. I undersold Rich Paul in that regard. Props to him.
We won't, as a Lakers nation, he played decent, but we won't miss him.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll be. Listen, obviously I don't know what Minnesota's trying to do. Obviously, the Gobert trade was the. Of course, I don't think we ever really know what Minnesota's going to do.
That was a huge mistake. That was a huge mistake. You gave up all those players. No disrespect to Rudy Gobert.
No, all the disrespect.
I was going to say, yeah, every bit of it.
No, because I'm a nice person, but Rudy Gobert, come on, really, all those picks for him. I mean, seriously. And then Cat thinking that he's changed the game for the NBA. I mean, I like Karl Anthony Towns, but no one looks at him as like a generational talent or anything like that.
It's a lot of idiot brain in that organization.
Starting with the top, I mean, listen, you can think about Kevin Garnett trade. You think about the Wiggins trade. You think about the Gobert trade. This is kind of what they're known for, what they're famous for. Trying to look at the free agent market. Doesn't look like we have any. By the way, this just got uploaded on Bleacher Report. How Michael Malone, his situation was just bloviating about the fact that Bruce Brown's coming back. Is he coming back? And no, he's no longer.
But you can't blame Bruce Brown though, because at the end of the day, you just won the championship, and you're also getting as much money as you can possibly get. I actually thought he would go to the Lakers because the money in LA, but you went to Indiana. Who knows? They offered you more money than whatever was out there, and hey, I can't blame him for that.
If he just decided to join the Lakers, though, the only issue is you'd have to choose between Reeves and Hachimura. You probably choose Reeves in that regard, just because of the incredible improvement that he's shown over the past couple of years. But I think the Lakers are better served just obviously retaining Austin Reeves and keeping Rude, because both those guys were huge. It looks like we got a Reggie Jackson deal. What's this right here? Okay, Reggie Jackson coming back to Denver, 2 years, $10 million with a player option.
That's good because Reggie Jackson, we've seen him before play in the playoffs. He's played well. He can also help as far as shooting. He can come off the bench. So I like that move.
Yeah. No, he's a nice backup point guard for Jamal Murray, and obviously didn't play much of the playoffs. I don't know if there was an injury in there somewhere, if he just didn't fit in the rotation with Bruce Brown. But with Bruce Brown gone, it freed up some money for them to pay him, and it frees up potentially a roster spot and a spot in the rotation for him to come back in. See if we can bring Barry back into the stream. So let's see. Reggie Jackson, your thoughts on that, Barry, right off the bat?
Reggie Jackson?
Reggie Jackson, 2
Yeah,
years,
he's staying in Denver.
10 million to Denver.
Yeah, I got nothing on that. I mean, he's a guy that hardly played for them. So is he going to have a role?
He probably will now that Bruce Brown's gone.
Yeah,
though.
now that Bruce Brown is going, he probably may have a little uptick in his role. But the one that made me laugh, did you see how much money Max Strus got?
Oh, did it come through? Because I see Guido and
they just over here spent $64 million for that bum. Give me a break.
Hey, he's a shooter. Listen, you never have a shortage of shooters and wings in the NBA.
Yeah. We'll see what those shooters get you when they over here getting put in the grinder defensively. They got
Brunson.
nothing for legs.
What's
your guys' thoughts about Harrison Barnes, though?
Harrison Barnes is a solid player.
He's Harrison Barnes. He is what he is. Listen. I still haven't forgiven him for the 2016 finals.
Yeah. he was awful. That
but
it wasn't just him though. I mean, collectively, Steph did get hurt though in that series. Didn't play particularly well, and then of course that finals, Uncle Drew, Kyrie gave it to him. Speaking of Kyrie, I don't know. I don't see him going to Phoenix. I don't see. He's gonna get the money.
He's not going anywhere, Parnell. He's using other teams as leverage so he can scare Dallas into giving him exactly what he wants. Lakers, they're meeting with him. This is all for show for him to be able to go back to his agent, or the agent can go back to the team, to Dallas, and say, hey, listen, there's other teams that are interested. We've had several max offers given to us. All we know is bullshit. So it's all about trying to, convince Dallas to pony up and give him the money that he wants, which they're going to do. Trust me. They have
to, but at the same time, if you're Kyrie, of course you're going to take the money, given the fact that they're the team that's going to give you the most money, and you're in a state in Texas where there's no state income taxes. So you're going to go there. James Harden, on the other hand, the Clippers or the Knicks, because according to Woj's report, those are the two
make
teams.
more sense, Parnell.
Yes, I said it. They should keep Russ. Russ should be coming off the bench. James Harden could still be the facilitator, the point guard for the team. I mean, the Knicks, him, Randall, RJ Barrett, Jalen Brunson, 4 players, all of them left-handed.
It's not even the left-handed thing that scares me. It's the fact that you already got Brunson, who's more of a true point. And again, I think they need to try and build around him. Not saying they're going to win championship with him, but as currently constructed, listen, he got them a lot further than they thought they could have gone. That's the second round. And listen, they gave Miami Heat a solid battle in the second round. By the way, speaking of the Clippers, there's been the Paul George trade rumors. Do you think that has any merit to it? Because listen, if I'm the Clippers, I'm trading Kawhi before I'm trading PG because of availability concerns. I know, Barry, you're a big Paul George fan. Do you think they should move him?
Who?
Paul George.
Playoff P. Waldo George.
No, playoff P. That's what I was.
Waldo George, that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean,
it's
all about they're trying to gauge the one asset that has some value. Kawhi Leonard has no value right now, so they can't go ahead and shop him because there is no value there. And go ahead and go down the roster. There's not much value on that team. So the one guy that anybody would be considering is Paul George. But even still, you're not giving up Paul George moving into a new building. You're just not doing that. And you heard the reports about James Harden. They're trying to add him instead of subtracting Paul George from that and adding James Harden. So they want that big three. But to what Parnell was saying, why don't you add Russ too? Add the kept wife and James Harden, add him, and then add Russell Westbrook, and they can both be on the team. I would love that. I would probably even go fly out there to go watch Clipper games just to see them implode on themselves.
Really?
Just to see them implode on themselves. I would love it. They would probably ban me from Crypto Arena because I would haggle them every game.
Of course they would ban your ass because you would find some type of way to annoy the shit out of them.
Hey, real quick, guys. Javon Carter, 3 years, $20 million to the Chicago Bulls.
That's a target that I want.
Yeah, I like Javon Carter. He had a good year last year.
Barry, come on, man. I'm a Bulls fan. Don't try to trigger me off, man. Oh, and by the way, if the Suns, if they were able to acquire Irving via a sign and trade, they would be hard capped at $172 million.
Good Lord. Well, listen, I doubt it happens, but I hope it does, because that would officially guarantee that they are not
How
championship
many
contenders.
super teams does KD need?
But see, I don't view this in the same ilk as I did Brooklyn and Golden State. I don't. I think this is a team that has a horrible bench. Now, I like Frank Vogel. I still don't think they should have fired Monty, but that's neither here nor there. I think Vogel's a solid coach, solid defensive coach, but what's the defensive personnel that he's been given? He doesn't have anything to work
And
with.
besides, what are you going to do with DeAndre Ayton? Are you going to keep him or are you going to trade him?
See, my thing is I think they have to keep him. Now, again, they just signed Eubanks, so we'll see what happens with that. I think he's more best served as a backup center as opposed to being your starting guy, because they'll have to play limited minutes if that's the case. But I think you have to keep Ayton. Personally, you got to have size. I mean, listen, we can bag on him all he wants. The guy's 18-10 on 60% shooting. He's not a bad player by any stretch.
I never said he was a bad player. My problem with him is the same problem Barry has with AD. He's inconsistent.
By the way, Barry, Mike just put this in the comments. What do you think about this? Lakers reportedly interested in signing Eric Gordon.
No.
Oh, you don't want him?
No.
Why not?
No.
Because he's
No.
washed, according to Barry.
For
He's
the
not
whole 12-5? No.
You're crazy, man.
No.
Man,
And plus,
Absolutely- absolutely
Barry looks at the three-point percentage to Eric Gordon this year. He shot 34%, even though he's like a career 37, 38%.
Listen, even if Parnell, he could have shot it at 98% last year. He's not worth 12.5 of the taxpayer or whatever it is. If you want to give him a portion of that, then fine. He's not worth the whole thing. No.
Fine, he's not worth the whole thing, but you're gonna have to find yourself and find a way to surround LeBron with shooters.
That's all right. We have shooters. We're good. We don't need him.
Who's your
You
shooter?
sure?
Huh?
Who's your shooter?
You sure? You sure you got shooters?
Reeves,
Austin Reeves,
outside of Reeves.
Austin Reeves is coming back.
Okay,
Rui
he's coming back. Who else?
Hachimura proved that he can hit threes. If you get D'Lo is one of the best knockdown three-point shooters in the NBA. We're not talking about him being a great defensive player, but knockdown three-point shooting, that's something that he does at a consistent level. You have I said Reeves. You now have Max Christie, who showed great strides in regards to his development. They're raving about that kid in regards to his physical ability, his ability to knock down shots. Now, granted, we have to see it in the game, but we got some guys there. Of course, you need more, but giving Eric Gordon 12.5, no.
Because of his age and decline.
And also, too, he spent a lot of years on the Clippers, and I will not allow that type of scum, dealing with my Lakers.
You let Montrezl Harrell come a few years ago.
Yeah, and you saw what happened to him.
I'm just saying you were.
So what happened to him?
Yeah. By the way, Mike Guida, I already knew this, but just putting this up there for the audience. Dante DiVincenzo reportedly leaving the Warriors, according to sources. Listen, we didn't have the money to pay him.
I thought he was
Listen,
going to the Knicks.
I'm looking at. I think the Knicks make a lot of sense.
I think they said the Knicks are in on him.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what I heard.
But I'm looking at our roster today. We have 6 guards. We like at this point, and Dante DiVincenzo is an offensive version of Gary Payton II, who's in for the next couple of years.
That's true. That's true though, Bryson. But think about it. He's looking for a salary increase, right? I don't think you guys had enough money to be able to give him what he wanted. So he had a good year for you guys, but at the money that you gave him was a steal in the first place.
Yes.
So you know he was going to be able to get more than that.
No doubt.
And I think, Bryson, even though that the Warriors may not win the championships here, I still think they're going to be competitive. I do like CP3 as the other facilitator on the team. I think at best he needs to come off the bench. Draymond there. Look, it's either Draymond or Jordan Poole. They traded Jordan Poole. I think he'll be okay in Washington, D.C., because he's going to be the number 1 scoring option. He's going to attempt a bunch of threes. And look, he's in Chocolate City. Beautiful women around. Maybe he'll get distracted by beautiful women and Ice Spice. As for the Warriors, look, you have 2 facilitators in Draymond and CP3. CP3 can also be great for Steph and Clay because of what they can do off the ball as well. And also CP3 is a great mentor for other players. So I like the move if you're Golden State.
No, I love it. I think it made all the sense in the world. You get rid of a net negative on and off the court. You guarantee Draymond Green comes back and you bring in a 14-9 guy who is the 4th lowest assist to turnover ratio in the NBA. Not to mention the fact that I hear a lot of folks talking about, oh, it doesn't fit Golden State. They run the pick and roll now. Like this whole motion offense. Why do you think Klay Thompson struggled the way that he did in the postseason? He was awful, particularly in the Lakers series. That's because they had to run a bunch of pick and roll with Steph.
Bro.
Listen, Chris Paul fits that perfectly. And again,
and plus he slows the pace for you as well.
He slows the pace down. He's a guy who's we only have to play him 50 games. Just have him healthy going in the playoffs. I don't believe in this black cat Paul curse. At least not in Golden State. I don't.
You go ahead, man. It's just like any horror movie that's been out there, right? You got people out there that don't want to believe in certain hoaxes or believe in certain curses that come down. They don't believe that this house is particularly haunted until they experience it. You're going to experience it, my friend. You go ahead and go tote that Chris Paul flag all you want. I will be here when it turns. And I'm not going to say I told you so because I don't have to. It's well documented.
Just curious why you don't think it's going to work. I think it makes all the sense in the world, but I'm curious from a basketball standpoint.
Bryson, it has nothing to do with basketball. That's what you don't understand.
Okay.
See, that's what you don't understand.
Bryson, if I'm you, I would just disregard Barry. He's just being salty.
It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with being salty. I've seen people trip on the air as soon as they get around Chris Paul.
It's Kevin Durant.
You go ahead, man. Okay. I haven't seen Steph Curry, complain about his ankles in years. All I'm saying, I'm not trying to wish it on nobody, but just watch. That's what I'm saying.
By the way, for the record, Barry, I did not say that the Warriors were going to win the championship once they acquired CP3.
They wasn't going to win anyway.
All I said was they were going to be competitive in the playoffs. At best case, they'll probably get to the conference semifinals.
They're always going to be when you have that particular trio that they have. They're always going to be competitive. So one thing about Golden State is that you don't necessarily have to be a championship contender, but they're still going to fight you tooth and nail. They're not going away.
And by the way, you're saying you don't want Kyrie. Are you that sure in D'Lo? You're that sure on him?
I know what D'Lo isn't, and I also know what Kyrie isn't as well. And he's not somebody that
real quick. Actually, it's a question for you, Barry. It's a question for you by John about D'Lo. D'Lo 2 for 40. How do you feel about that?
That's a good question, John. Man, I am more comfortable somewhere around the $17 to $18 million range. Even anything that's lower than that, I would be comfortable. 20, he made 30 plus million last year. If they can get him for 20, I think it's not a bad deal, but I wouldn't be over the moon about it.
17, 18.
Yeah.
If you're the Lakers, you're trying to get a little bit less. So
yeah, because the thing is, like the Lakers are literally going to be bidding against themselves. He has no market like that. His market is not, and you just saw that Javon Carter just went to the Bulls. That would have been a spot that they probably would have been able to finagle something, right? But they signed back Kobe White. They got Javon Carter now. That's a spot that has dried up. Think about all the other teams that are around the NBA. Where is there a fit at point guard for him? There's not many fits unless some team is going to plan to play him off ball, which might be something that more teams are going to look for, right? But at the same time, defensively, he's a liability. So his market is very thin, and the Lakers need to understand that and don't bid against themselves. They need to play hardball and say, listen, this is what we got. If you can be able to go find something else, go out there and go test it. But this $13 million will be here when you get back.
The Niang kid just signed a 3-year, $26 million deal with Cleveland.
Oh, George Niang? Okay, shouts to him.
Yep.
Yeah, for who?
George
Niang to Cleveland, 3 years, $26 million.
That's good for them because they get a guy off the bench who can knock down threes. So that's good for Cleveland.
Solid player.
Yeah, he's nice.
No, I'm sorry, folks. I'm just reading this article. Ben Simmons won't play in the FIBA World Cup, man.
Yeah, I think Australia said that they don't want him to play. He didn't make that decision. Didn't make that decision. They called him and said, "Hey, listen, did you think that you were coming down here this summer? No. Just stay where you at. Go ahead and work out. We're good."
Listen, Ben Simmons is the king of off-season workouts. That's what we do know.
Facts.
The man crushes his off-season workouts.
You saw them photos of him working. I'm like, come on, man. We've seen it before. When are we actually going to see him work on his game, man?
He's the best NBA IG model in the history of the sport.
Facts. Yep.
Oh, Bryson, I'm gonna start with you first. Pelicans, should they trade Zion?
What's the compensation? I mean, that's the question. I'd prefer to keep him, but the thing is, if you're listen, we know at the off court stuff, that's another topic for another show. But we consider the fact that he's struggled to stay available.
Forget off the court stuff. I'm talking about on the court. 114 games in 4 seasons.
Right.
So if you do the math, that's like 28 games by average he's played. And the problem with him, he can't stay healthy because of his weight. And Barry has mentioned it several times. New Orleans, hey, somebody got to call him and tell him put that food down. Go on
but
a
I'll
bike,
tell you this though. I know the Knicks have been mentioned. Y'all tasted, you know as well as anybody, Barry. You tasted New York's food, New York City's food. Listen,
it's not as bad as New Orleans.
I know. I'm just saying it's good though.
I hear you, but there's a lot of people to be able to keep him in check here, and also too.
Hey, okay, hold on. I gotta cut you off. Let's play the the air horn here.
Go ahead, brother.
Kyrie Irving has agreed to a 3-year, $126 million contract to return to the Dallas Mavericks.
Smart move for Kyrie.
Yeah. Very smart move. I don't think anybody else is given 3 years. So Kyrie's coming back to Dallas again. This doesn't surprise me at all. Again, you mentioned Barry about him, using these other teams as leverage. So your immediate takeaway on this?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's exactly what it was. He wanted to go ahead and put some feelers out there just to kind of scare Dallas into probably giving him an extra year or so. But I think Dallas, from the time that they evaluated him during the season, I think that they already knew how many years they were going to give him. And I don't think that they were going to be comfortable with giving him any more than the 3-year contract. I think ideally they would have wanted to settle for probably a 2-year deal. But obviously to keep the player happy, you would have to give him that extra year. So I think Dallas was never going to go any higher than 3 years, to be honest with you.
Also, before you go on, Bryson, I want to give this shout out to Kyrie Irving's agent.
I saw that too. Yeah.
Riley. She will become the first Black woman to negotiate and complete an NBA contract. So before we head on, I want to give credit where credit is due. It goes to show you, if you give people an opportunity, hey, watch what they can do.
Absolutely. No, I was actually going to mention that, so I'm glad you brought that up, Parnell. Shout out to her, no question about it. But again, I think for for Dallas.
But how's this still going to help Luka, though? Because we all know Luka is terrible off the ball. We know what he is on the ball. So you still got to address the other issues as far as getting enough offensive talent and defensively, even though we expect him to be better defensively heading into next year compared to last year, Luka's still got to show more effort on the defense. Luka's at least got to show a little bit effort on defense. I mean, he can't be that lackadaisical on defense.
The clock has started on Luka and the Dallas Mavericks. I'm telling you that right now.
Yes. No, I think we've heard rumblings for the last couple of years. There was a whole issue. Remember, he had problems with Rick Carlisle. They moved Carlisle, brought in Jason Kidd, and there seems to be a real disconnect there ever since. And again, I think it's fair. I think Luka I think I had Luka as the 6th best player in the world. You could make a case for top 5. I think he's a guy that, listen, you consider the fact that he's been one of the better playoff performers since he came into the NBA. He's one of the better offensive talents year in and year out. Many, including myself, one year predicted him to be the league MVP. But question, does his game work well with others? Because you have Porzingis, which I'll cut Luka some slack there. Porzingis, I don't think really works with anybody. He's been rumored to have some issues in the locker room with numerous teammates in the past, but didn't really. Well, I shouldn't say he didn't work with Jalen Brunson. They got to the conference finals, but Brunson blossomed once he became the guy in New York, and they did get to the second round. And now you have the situation with Kyrie. I'm with you, Bear. I think this has a good chance of kind of blowing up pretty soon.
Absolutely.
I think it's good for both sides. For Dallas, because they didn't have to give him like a huge supermax contract, and with Kyrie, 3 years, $126 million. So that's like a little over $40 million per year.
Listen, I used an analogy talking about Kyrie yesterday that what Kyrie Irving is in the NBA is like if you If you're a woman, you're dating a guy that looks like George Clooney, and if you're a guy, you're dating somebody that looks like Angelina Jolie, and they but they go through significant others over and over and over, and then you think you're gonna be the one that changes them, and it doesn't work. That is Kyrie Irving. He's because of his remarkable talent. Listen, he's a 50-40-90 guy. He's one of the better offensive talents that we've ever had in the history of the league. But locker room issues.
Greatest handle in the game.
Greatest handle in NBA history. Okay, hold on. Looks like we got another big time free agent deal that just got signed. Hang on here. 3-time All-Star Chris Middleton has agreed on a 3-year, $102 million contract to stay with the Milwaukee Bucks. Puts him back to Milwaukee.
So he declined previously. He declined a player option at $40 million.
Yep.
So 3 years, $102 million.
Yep, that's a good deal for Milwaukee, I think.
I think so.
Can't hear you, Barry. You're muted.
Yeah, you got to think about the years, Parnell. So it's not about the, $42 million for 1 year sounds good, but 3 years guaranteed is way better. Way better.
Oh yeah,
and especially because he has injury concerns as well. That's something really, really important for him.
Yeah,
no, because I actually thought he would go elsewhere. That's what I was kind of concerned about.
I think that you have Milwaukee had 2 major free agents in the market, being you could include Javon Card, but the real key players were Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez. They were much more cool with losing Lopez, assumingly, than they were Chris Middleton. So Middleton stays in Milwaukee again. It's hope against hope. I doubt we have the money, but I'm crossing my fingers. Maybe the Warriors land Brook Lopez. We got another deal here. Jakob Poeltl has agreed on a 4-year, $80 million contract to stay with the Toronto Raptors. So that's a big time center that's off the market right there. So he's staying in Toronto. So they got their big for the next 4 years. Poeltl was developed in San Antonio. He's been in Toronto recently. He's been a solid double guy. So yes, Toronto's in a really weird spot where they've got the kid Scotty Barnes, who obviously won a Rookie of the Year a couple years back. Very talented young player. Pascal Siakam reportedly wants to stay in Toronto long term, but then you have the questions regarding Fred VanVleet. Does he stay? Does he leave? Okay, we got another deal. They're starting to flow in now. We're starting to get we hit a little dry spell. We got another deal coming in. Cam Johnson, 4 years, $108 million to stay with the Brooklyn Nets. I really like Cam Johnson.
Nice deal.
Yep.
Nice deal. I think it's also good for them. Another scoring option for the Brooklyn Nets, for Mikal Bridges, and also for Cam Thomas.
No question about it. So Cam Johnson back to the Brooklyn Nets. Again, this is why I love about NBA free agency. And again, I will reiterate what I said at the beginning of today's show, that I always get a kick out of Parnell every single year at this time. We talk about, who's,
it's more exciting. It makes you kind of forget about football to some extent, because as long as you hear all these moves with free agency, you're like, eh.
Let's see. I saw Mike Guido. Damn, I really thought I was going to get Barry at the fake Brooks news. Let's bring Barry back to the string, because I was thinking about it. I saw Mike Guido put Dylan Brooks to the Lakers. I didn't believe it. I pray to God it happens. Please.
Come on,
gotta see this.
Barry,
I actually met with them today, though.
Not going to waste his time with that.
How could he fake me when I got all the insider information as well? You can't do that.
Do you know?
I'm a Laker fan. You think I'm not going to get the news before him?
What's your sources on Dylan Brooks or on the Lakers say, Barry?
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen. Oh, that's a shame, man.
LeBron don't want nothing to do with Dylan Brooks.
No, but it's you never know with the Lakers sometimes.
Dylan Brooks will be on his best behavior with the Lakers, but it's just not an ideal fit because he can't shoot.
Can't shoot and can't defend and can't handle the ball.
The defense part you can be able to deal with, right? But the fact that he can't hit a knockdown shot is a liability.
And plus the fact that he talks trash, how does that help the team?
It's not the trash talk. It's the fact that he's cashing it. He's putting a check that his team cannot cash. Let's see. Yeah. Mike Guido. He said you guys didn't acknowledge it in time. Kyrie Irving ruined it with the timing of his deal. No, listen. We can't control the news flow, Mike. We don't have all that power. But let's see. We got something else. Yeah, Cam Johnson back to Brooklyn. That's the latest thing we have. Cam Johnson back to Brooklyn, 4 years, 108. good deal for him. Really good ascending player. I think it really hurt Phoenix. Listen, you do whatever you can to add Kevin Durant. He's Kevin Durant, but listen, Cam Johnson's a guy who's a good shot maker, solid defensive player, and it was a big part in them getting the finals and winning 65 games a couple years back. So, yeah, but listen, Brooklyn seems to be in that spot where they're trying to construct their team similar to how they did before Katie and Kyrie got there, where it's, I guess Bridges, they're somewhat pseudo-star. Obviously, I think he's more of a number 3 option. He's obviously a tremendous defensive player. But
Bryson, I think he should be the number 1 option for.
Oh, he is right now.
No, I think if he actually has all-star potential because, like I said before, with Ben Simmons, given how highly flawed he is, he can't be a number 1 option. He can't. And if Ben Simmons replicates another year like he had last season, it's over for him, and everyone knows it.
Okay. Listen, I love Mikal Bridges, but listen, yeah, I think Ben Simmons, this could very well be his last year as an NBA basketball player. Would not shock me in the slightest. Yeah, see, it looks like that Metu kid from the Kings. I think he's staying in Sacramento, so which he didn't get any playoff minutes, so I don't think that's huge news. But let's see, we got anything else? Listen, I've got Woj, Shams, and Chris Haynes on speed dial right now.
Jacopoto got 80 million.
I wouldn't imagine.
And he's a double, dude. So Toronto, at least you still got a big man to help out, though.
That was one of the players that I wanted for the Lakers, but 80 million, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's. I was kind of hoping to get him in Golden State too. I think Mason Plumlee's still a possibility.
Come on, Brook Lopez, come back to LA.
Brook Lopez is not going to the Lakers. Stop it. He's coming to Golden State. He's coming to Golden State.
I don't want to hear nothing from your mouth. Okay, you're a Golden State fan. Don't talk to me. Brook Lopez is coming back to the Lakers.
And if he doesn't,
then he's going to be on my list.
No, not just that. You're going to lose your shit, kind of like you did on draft night.
I won't. I'm just gonna like I said.
You won't.
I have a list.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm gonna write this down. I
have a list of people that I will curse during the season. So
yeah. Oh, curse. Oh, yeah. I didn't know you had that kind of power. Listen, I know you're the villain, all that stuff, but I didn't know you had that kind of influence.
As I've told people,
why do you think things haven't worked out for Kawhi Leonard since he did what he did to my Lakers of the summer of 2018?
I mean, I just figure you've been able to reverse curse Anthony Davis, considering the fact that he can't stay healthy and he has an inability to, from a health basis, he's always coin flip Davis. We know that.
We got the championship out of him, so it is what it is.
Bubble championship, but okay.
Oh no, that's not fair. I can say as a Warriors fan that
don't do that, because if you're gonna go ahead, like I can go on and on about this. Nobody talks about Tim Duncan's 50-game championship. Nobody ever talks about that. They just say that he has 5, but because it's LeBron, they want to throw shade.
That's what they do. That's the brand. Especially, what's weird is the fact they never give LeBron shade for the lockout championship in 2012. Always thought that was weird, but which they shouldn't. But I don't know.
Well, that's what happens when you're the face of the NBA and when you're often compared to Michael Jordan. So of course you're gonna get that.
Why should he be compared to Michael Jordan? They're 2 different players.
Wait a minute. Then explain, Barry, why a lot of people say that he's better than MJ.
I am one of those players. I'm one of those people that say that. But
yes, Nick Wright,
me.
Yes, you.
There's a lot of people that say that, but I only say that because that's the narrative that people like to spew. They're not the same player. They're not even the same person.
We know that.
That goes without saying.
But we know that. That's very obvious. As far as player, personality-wise, they're not the same.
Yeah, LeBron's better. I know.
Stop.
Better scorer, passer, rebounder.
No, I think Jordan is a better scorer. I think Jordan is a better...
By an inch.
Jordan is a better scorer and better defender.
Jordan's a better scorer because LeBron never cared about scoring 40
and he's the all-time leading scorer in NBA history.
Do you think? Wait a minute, Michael Jordan. What do you think Michael Jordan would average in today's game? What do you think MJ would easily average in today's game?
35.
I don't play hypotheticals.
No. Wait a minute. Jordan did average 37 in his era. Imagine what he would do with the spacing. Jordan would probably average around 38 a night.
Jordan couldn't shoot threes. He couldn't
Jordan
compete.
couldn't shoot threes.
Jordan would have gotten better as a 3-point shooter.
Okay. Oh, you know that for a fact.
No, I'm just going that from what from what I know, from how I studied the game and how I look at today's game. You don't think guys back in the day wouldn't have improved? Do you think Allen Iverson wouldn't drop 35 in today's game?
Allen Iverson was dropping 35 back then.
So if he did it back then, why couldn't he do it now?
Again, if you want to go ahead and play those hypotheticals, partner, you can go ahead. I don't play those games because you can literally say if LeBron James played in an era where just Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain were there, he'd probably average 52 and then 35 rebounds.
And do you think LeBron would have done what he is doing now and back in that era?
Why not?
So what? That's not a contradiction?
How is it not? I'm not making that argument. You are.
You said why not? But you said why not? Why not?
I'm not making that argument. You are. I don't care to make it.
I think LeBron James is great.
I
have him as the second greatest basketball player of all time. I'll give you my top players.
I know.
LeBron,
a lot of you MJ fanboys, man. You guys get very defensive. I get it.
It's not being defensive. I'm just stating it.
Michael Jordan is the best.
Hey guys, I want to. Mike Guido just interjected with a great point. I must add, Mike Guido. That's always the argument for MJ. It's always would have.
Exactly. Last time I checked, LeBron James never retired ever.
Oh, okay. Explain LeBron James in the 2011 finals against the Dallas.
He had a bad series, but
one bad series.
He didn't one bad series. Oh, one bad series. Explain all the other situations regarding Jordan.
Year.
Oh my God, y'all hate.
You do know that, right?
We're not. No. I think Jordan's 2. I think Jordan's a close 2, but I don't think it's.
If you want to give him 2, that's fine. But
where you got him, Barry?
You fanboys are ridiculous.
No. I will not accept that. There are LeBron James fanboys, and y'all are worse. Like I said, Barry,
they are.
You are a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Honestly.
No. There are Lakers fans. There's LeBron.
Guido's got
fans,
a question for you, Parnell.
Cowboys fans. Mike Guido. Yes. What happened to Pitt? Yeah. And what happened when LeBron James decided to go to South Beach? Was he winning championships before?
Yeah, he won 2.
That's what happens when you play
before. Before he went to Miami, did he win championships? Miami?
No, but he led a team that had no business getting to the NBA Finals Did Jordan ever do that? Oh no,
1-9.
Wait a minute. Allen Iverson. Wait a minute. Allen Iverson didn't have a gang load of talent in that NBA Finals in 2001.
Yeah, and he got to a final, so he did something that Jordan never did. You're making our point. Thank you.
2 years, $20 million for Trey Jones.
No, I disagree there.
2 years, $20 million.
With you there, Barry.
I mean, Trey Jones is a good player, though. He's a good player.
So he stays with San Antonio with.
He's a solid backup point guard. He really is.
I'll tell you, I like his brother Tyus better though. Tyus is really good.
Listen, that shocked me when Memphis got rid of him.
That didn't shock me. It's what Memphis is as an organization. It's what they do. It's what they do.
Yeah.
Especially with Ja being gone 25 games. They win 72% of their games when Tyus Jones starts.
And then you go ahead and subtract and replace him with Marcus Smart. I love it.
Me too. I'm glad you came around in Memphis after a while, Barry. You were a big Memphis guy.
I'm a Ja fan. I am not a particularly Memphis Grizzly. I don't care for them much, but yeah, it's they're definitely overrated.
You don't say. See, it's slowed up a little bit in terms of deals. Again, there's still plenty of. I wish I had the graphic. I'm trying to create the graphic as we speak here with the available free agents.
What deal right now? What do you think is holding up all the other ancillary moves, Bryson? Because I think all the big dominoes have fell pretty much, right?
Let's look. Well, obviously, Harden's a trade situation, so that's going to take a few days.
That's not going to hold anything. I think you're going to see more trades than you're going to see anything else. Like all of these signings are just going to be, you'll probably see a lot as the night goes on. You'll probably see some early tomorrow morning. I think the Austin Reeves thing that's going to wrap up quickly. I think the one Hachimura's deal is going to take a time. I think that's going to take some time because the Lakers don't have to really they can let the market dictate that. But if you noticed, the Lakers offered Reeves the 4-year, $54 million right out the gate.
because
I saw that right before free agency started.
they
Yeah,
want to make sure that they put an offer out there before any of the rumored teams like San Antonio or Chicago or whatever. You know what I mean? So they wanted to get that offer out there to let Austin Reeves know, hey, listen, we want you. We're not just waiting on a deal to come here. We're giving you the most that we can be able to offer you. If you want to take it, it's there. If there's another deal on the table that's a little more, we are going to match it. So no matter what, you're going to get paid.
I'm surprised that I'm kind of surprised Christian Wood's still on the market. I'm not gonna
You
lie
know
to you.
what it is? I think his value got hurt, Bryson,
Okay.
towards the ending of the season. Because, you know, you look at his skill set and you're like, man, this is a guy that, you know, he can run the floor good. He's a decent shot blocker, not a great position defender, not a, you know, a pretty decent rebounder, can score a little bit, but he just looked really out of place and got exposed a lot, especially in the high pick and roll situation. So, you know, a lot of teams are looking at that like, okay, well, what is his value? Do we pay him X amount of money, and how are we going to be able to utilize him without him looking or getting exposed? You know what I mean? So that's the thing with him, is that yes, he's a good player, but it all depends on who you have in front of him.
So looking at a number of guys, again, there was a report earlier today that my Warriors could sign Dario Saric, who I think would be a beautiful fit.
I think Saric would be a good pickup for you guys.
Yeah, he'd be basically our version of Otto Porter Jr. From a couple years back when we won the championship. So I'd absolutely take him. So I don't know if there's anything holding that. Fred VanVleet, by the way, is still in the market. So
yeah, you know, that so I guess that's the biggest domino right now in regards to
you want him?
players that are left.
I think be a good fit with the Lakers.
There's not a lot of teams with cap space, so you might be looking at a sign and trade for him.
Yeah, potentially, yeah. See, I'm just looking at guards just here on my notes. Let's see, we got D'Lo, Austin Reeves, Clarkson, Gary Trent, Bruce Brown's off the market, Russ, DiVincenzo, Gabe Vincent.
Listen, I think Miami would be silly to let Gabe Vincent walk.
I do too. He had a big Eastern Conference Finals.
But at the same time, too, you have to know what his market is, right? Like who is there a team that's going to go ahead and pay him to, you know, $12 million a year? I don't know. But I think that's the problem that Miami has. But I think he's restricted, so they can be able to sit and wait and see how that market develops for him.
Yeah, so they're in a good negotiating position. Forwards, let's see. So the five best forwards, no, six best forwards I've got are all off the board. Who else we got? Grant Williams, my man from Tennessee. I'm surprised that there's not a good. This is a good 3-point shooter, solid defender.
He's a undersized big. That's why his market is going to be a little funny.
Let's see. So as far as bigs, Pirtle just got the deal in Toronto. So you got Brook Lopez, Plumlee, Kevin Love, Thomas Bryant, guys like that are still out there.
Listen, don't mention Brook Lopez's name again, Bryson, because he's coming to the Lakers.
Stop jinxing yourself.
Thank you, Parnell. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have sources on the ground that are telling you that?
See, that's the problem.
When I put on my Bret Hart glasses,
doing it to himself. He keeps jinxing himself.
You're gonna know.
He keeps doing this to himself. He keeps jinxing himself. He's gonna learn the hard way. Unfortunately, Bryson, he's just gonna learn the hard way.
By the way, this says according to another Barry Jackson in Miami. He says that the Heat and Cavs are trying to get a third team involved in a potential Max Strus sign-in trade. Well, it's because they're paying him a ton of money.
So they're trying to get some. Yeah, they're trying to get something out of that deal.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, listen, if Max Strus wants to help them out, that's good. It's good.
Sure.
They can be able to probably get a second round pick out of it or something like that. Hey.
Yeah. It's a good asset for the future. Yeah, sure. Although Strus would have some. Listen, of course, Strus is your typical, spot up shooter. In terms of gets really hot, and then there you go. Guido just said in the comments, Strus the Cavs not done trying to find a third team. I'm just curious who gets involved with that. We've had a lot of three-team trades lately. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a James Harden trade and it involves three teams. Right. Oh man, Mike, you just caught one. Parnell. By the way, Parnell arguing that MJ is better with a LeBron jersey behind him. That ain't great.
First of all, I didn't buy that jersey. My stepfather, he bought it for me.
Oh. So. Okay.
And he knows I'm an MJ dude, so
But you respect LeBron at least, right? You're not like an MJ guy who hates LeBron's
I have
guts.
LeBron as the second greatest basketball player of all time.
I can respect that.
LeBron James. I respect him than Jordan as far as
last thing I want to ask Parnell on this Jordan topic, because I'm tired of it.
Why is Jordan your best player? I'm curious.
I think what separates him is the intangibles, the mentality. I just find what he did more impressive in his era as far as scoring the basketball, the defense. Yes, you can say, well, you know what? He didn't start winning championships until he had Phil Jackson, until he had Scottie Pippen, until Jerry Krause, God rest his soul. The GM did a great job as far as building the team around Michael and surrounding him with great components. The only thing Krause did not do was draft Michael Jordan. That was Rod Thorne. But I think with Jordan is just the drive, the will, the determination. I think if Jordan, had he not retired, who knows? He could have won more championships. I mean, 2 3-peats, 91,
Well, that's
92,
impressive. No
93,
question about that.
96, 97, 98. I just like Jordan's game more than I like Braun because of his scoring ability, mid-range game, his ability to attack the basket, clutch shooting, drive, will, determination. I think Braun is a more talented player than Jordan. Let me repeat that. More talented player than Jordan. I think LeBron is better as far as attacking to the basket, even though Jordan was phenomenal with his airness. Braun is obviously a better passer, playmaker. If you want to make the argument, Braun is a better leader than Jordan because Braun at least gives them their respect. Braun doesn't have to talk shit about them, kind of like how Jordan did with his teammates. Fine, I understand that. I just would take Jordan because of the mentality. I just like his mentality over Braun. I just think what he did in his era was more impressive than Braun, in my opinion. And even though he retired, still, even though he wasn't the same in Washington compared to he was in Chicago, Jordan was still giving you 20 plus points per game. So let's not act like Jordan was god awful in Washington. He wasn't what he was in, but he wasn't that awful. Well, he wasn't as bad as what a lot of people thought. He was still giving you all-star caliber seasons. So
Yeah,
let's
I
not
mean,
act like he's a
if you're
complete
taking all the
fraud.
shots, of course you're going to be an all-star caliber player.
But who do you have around him too?
Richard Hamilton was there.
Who'd
Right,
Braun
but
have
you
in,
also
in the
but
in
you
the
also had
first stint in
Kwame
Cleveland?
Brown.
Richard Hamilton was there. I think Stackhouse was there as well.
Stackhouse was there. Antoine Jameson was there. But at the same time, still, that was still a relatively young team.
Listen, partner, I got you, man. I like your soliloquy. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I am not gonna have any comments about this because I've said enough about Michael Jordan ad nauseum.
No, we respectfully disagree. That's
Who's we?
all that is. We respectfully
Exactly.
disagree.
It's 2 against 1 on this panel.
I actually, listen. I'm not as strong on it as Barry is. I mean, listen. Part of my case too with LeBron too is that you swap, put Bron in Chicago, put MJ in today's time. Do you think MJ's beating any of those Warriors teams?
No.
Once.
Which one?
One.
Wait. Which one? Which one?
I don't believe he would have beaten. I mean, the 2016. I mean, if LeBron can come back from a 3-1 deficit, you're trying to say Jordan can't do it?
Didn't say couldn't do it. I said he.
And look, the 2015 finals, I'm going to give Braun a pass on that one because, again, no Kyrie, no K-Love. His second best player on that team, if I'm not mistaken, was Matthew Dellavedova.
So let me ask you a question. You don't give him a pass for the 2007 finals then?
I don't think I give him a pass in that one because San Antonio was collectively the better team. Cleveland, they were a good defense. Cleveland were a good defensive team, but nowhere offensively.
So what about 2014? You will give him a pass there?
I thought
I don't.
I thought LeBron James looked out of shape during that season because of
in
the
20.
Whoa. Yeah, he did look a little bit out of shape.
I don't know if I'd say he was out of shape, but
he did. No, he did look a little bit out of shape, and then after that season, he started to look a little skinny. He started to look like he was a little bit more chiseled compared to what he was when he entered the season. Remember, he came off the honeymoon and stuff like that. So I didn't think he was in tip-top condition in 2013. And his defense, I didn't think it was good that year in 2013 compared to the previous year when he won the championship for a second time in a row. I thought he should have won Defensive Player of the Year in 2012 instead of Marcus.
Right, but see what a lot of people are not talking about with that last year in Miami was that San Antonio was the better team.
Yes, and
Period.
San
I don't think they were
Antonio.
that much better though than
They,
Miami was
they
though.
were, right. You know why?
Mm.
Because if you look at the series, Dwayne Wade was shot.
He
Was
was.
shot. That's one of the biggest reasons for LeBron James leaving Miami was because he did not think that Dwayne Wade was going to hold up. He would have stayed had he known that Dwayne Wade was not having so many injuries. Like you heard when Dwayne Wade was on Club Shay Shay. There's a lot of injuries that we don't even know he had that he's going to reveal in his documentary, that he was dealing with a lot of pain. So when your second best player is not up to snuff and you're going against that juggernaut that San Antonio had that year, remember that the win differential that they had in that finals was historic.
It was massive.
Yeah, you feel what I'm saying? So for people to even and those are the things that frustrates me about LeBron James's legacy or his narrative is that when you have a great team like that, they still say, well, it's LeBron James. He should be able to do better. The San Antonio was clearly head and shoulders better. Clearly.
Do you think that San Antonio had motivation given the fact that they blew that game 6?
Doesn't matter about motivation, partner. We're just talking about the better team, right? Better team won that final. Period.
Yes, and San Antonio clearly was a better team.
Yeah, they were more dominant. They were more together. They were more cohesive. They just had everything going for them. This is the thing. Why should anybody look at it as anything else? LeBron James went against a great team. He's going against great teams in the finals in his career. And he's lost a significant amount because he's played some great teams.
Yeah, he played the greatest team in the history of the game back-to-back years.
Yeah, like you
wait, I caught him. I got you, Barry. You admitted it.
I'm not gonna dispute that. I think Golden State those years they were a special team. You know?
There we go. I got him. There we go.
All
right, so
they're better than my 86 Lakers, but
go ahead, Bryson.
Yeah, they were better than the 86 Lakers by a country mile. Real quick, guards available. We're going to look at position by position. Let's look at the best guards available. I finally got this graphic done. Nice. So again, we see some guys got Kyrie and
Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson is definitely up that list, right? Gary Trent Jr. He went back to I think he opted into the deal.
Oh, he
Clarkson
did?
would
Clarkson
would be great for the Lakers.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Yeah, Clarkson, Van Fleet, Vincent, Dennis Schroeder's. I'm hearing that he's coming back to the Lakers.
Really? He was the guy I thought was going to leave.
Yeah, I'm hearing that they might have about maybe $4.5 million per for him for 2 years. So we're looking at maybe $9 million a year, a $9 million contract for 2 years.
He wants about fumbling the bag 2 years ago.
I'm interested to see where he goes. I'm really interested to see where he goes.
Do you think he comes back to Utah? I know they're in a rebuild, but
I think it all depends on him. I think, his value has been what it is, right? He's a guy that can be able to give you 20 points off the bench. He can be a starter. He's a guy that can get hot, streaky 3-point shooter. Not really much of a playmaker, but he has a role on any team. I would love to see him with a contender. It's just that what contenders have that particular type of space, and what is he looking for? Is he looking for more, championship contender status in this later part of his career, or is he looking to get one final paycheck, right? One final big time payday. Right. So I think that's what it's going to come to for Jordan Clarkson.
What about you, Parnell? Anybody's sorry, I just went down the wrong hole there.
No, it's all good. Well, Josh Hart is still staying with the Knicks. Happy for Josh Hart.
Yep.
I would like Jordan Clarkson with the Lakers. I think because of what he can do as far as scoring wise, the personality, I think that would definitely work out. Derrick Rose, man, I still see him with the Knicks, but just with a reduced salary contract.
If Javon Carter didn't go back to Chicago, Parnell, I would have loved him to go back to Chicago.
I would too. And again, you're talking to a Bulls fan. I would too. I would love to see Derrick Rose finish his career in Chicago. But if the Knicks, if they still want to keep him, and if Derrick Rose wants to still stay there, that's up to him.
What about you think the Clippers would entertain a Derrick Rose?
As a backup point guard, maybe.
Yeah, but what do you do with Russ? Potentially
Russ is not there.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, just that would depend on a lot if they get James Harden, to me.
Right.
So what they do with that backup, you'd be much better served with Derrick Rose because he's a much better change of pace point guard than James Harden has come off the bench. That make more sense. Yeah, so there you go. That's the best. Obviously, James Harden, not technically a free agent. Fine. Oh, good one, Barry. Oh, y'all got a good one. Hang on. Let me take this little graphic off. Let's put the let's get the air horns on. Hang on. The Lakers have signed to a 3-year, $33 million deal Gabe Vincent. According to what? Shams. Yep, you got him.
Oh, so they gave him the full taxpayer then.
Yep.
3-year, $30 million, $10 million per year.
Wow. So that means that Dennis is gone.
In likelihood, yes.
Listen, that hurts you defensively, but Caleb Martin's a good shot-making, off guard. I kind of like it for the Lakers. That's just me, but just trying to process it, or like what's your?
Yeah, I'm trying to process it a little bit.
I think it makes sense. I really do.
So you said Caleb Martin for what? How much?
3 years, 33.
Man, that means that we did not get Brook Lopez.
Oh, great. Funny,
Yeah,
you were talking real big.
I told you. We tried to tell you. Stop getting your hopes up. Stop getting your hopes up. This is what you keep doing to yourself. You keep doing this to yourself, Barry. This is the problem with you. You just keep breaking your heart. That's your problem.
No, the Mets keep breaking my heart.
No, the Cowboys keep breaking your heart.
And that's you.
No,
problem.
the Cowboys keep breaking your heart, but that's a story for another day. You do this to yourself. You do this to yourself. No wonder why you are the black Skip Bayless. You cannot help yourself. Anytime, whenever there's a little bit of hope, you exaggerate, you go overboard. But the moment reality,
all right, let's talk
about
this
to yourself. You do this to yourself.
Okay, he can score. I don't like what he gives me defensively. He doesn't give you anything defensively. I don't like that.
But you're fine defensively, Barry. That's not an issue.
I don't care. But that
listen, you can never have enough guys who can get their own shot.
That means that Lonnie's going too.
I assume Lonnie was gone to begin with. He made himself. Don't remind me as a Warriors fan. He made himself a lot of money in that game for.
Mm-hmm.
Gabe Vincent, Taurean Prince. I'd say it's been a pretty good day for the Lakers. I'm not gonna lie.
I think we've done well, man.
Wait, time out, Bryson. Is it Caleb Martin going to the Lakers or Gabe Vincent?
Caleb Martin. No, Gabe. I'm sorry, Gabe Vincent. My bad, Gabe Vincent.
Oh,
my bad.
Gabe Vincent. Okay, so that's why
I'm sorry.
Confusing me.
My bad.
So it's Gabe Vincent.
Yes, I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, Gabe Vincent. Yes.
So 3 years, $33 million deal.
Damn, we were just talking about him too.
Mm-hmm.
But at least you have but the Lakers need a shooter. Lakers need shooting just as much as they need defense.
See, the problem that I have with this is that you bring in Gabe Vincent. Okay, listen. He's a guy. He can get his own shot. He's good, heady player, right?
Yep.
But now Dennis is gone, and where is the defensive point guard that you have? Because if you have D'Lo as your starter, possibly Gabe Vincent as the backup, there's a lot to be desired there in regards to defensively.
Well, unfortunately for Barry, you're gonna have to wait until trade. You're gonna have to wait until a trade or the draft in order for you to get a perimeter guard or a 3-and-D.
Gabe Vincent, interesting.
Yep. Gabe Vincent to the Los Angeles Lakers. 3 years, $3 million. I actually thought you were gonna be more excited about that, Barry. So it's like giving a kid a Christmas present and he doesn't like it. That's it.
Yeah, no, that's like getting Lopez. It's like getting a sweater on Christmas.
What's wrong with a sweater?
Nothing, but like kids are not looking for a sweater.
That's fair.
That's because kids are looking for PlayStations and Xbox.
Yes,
there you go.
That's exactly what I wanted.
But Guido's right on the money. Right here.
What?
Jalen Hood.
Jalen Hood-Schifino.
What does that mean?
That's why you
drafted him, because of the defense.
He ain't gonna play that much. He ain't playing.
I didn't think Austin Reeves was gonna play that much 2 years
ago.
Yeah,
Austin Reeves had to play because we ain't had nobody else.
What he's trying to say is what if we can read? Can I read that comment or
Yeah,
quote
let me
again?
put it back up here for you. Here you go.
That's why you drafted Jalen Hood-Schifino. So just in case if the players don't play well, like let's say for an example, if D'Lo or Gabe Vincent can't give you anything offensively, and meanwhile we know what they can't do defensively, at least you have Jalen Hood out there to provide you that. He
A
may not
rookie?
get it. Look, Barry, it's better to have something, even if he's a rookie. You
By the
need
way, we're
defense.
automatically assuming that D'Lo's coming back. I doubt it. He was one of those guys.
And again, this is the same Barry, and this is why I
I
keep
mean
telling you, he
that
keeps
right
doing it to
there,
himself.
Bryson is a good point. We're assuming
Yeah,
that D'Lo's back. Maybe they went this route because maybe they've made their mind that they're not getting D'Lo back.
right. Listen, I saw for the Lakers, I saw D'Lo and Lonnie being the guys that were like no, and Dennis to a certain degree. I thought Dennis was more likely to come back than D'Lo, just from a fit standpoint, being that good defensive guard off the bench or insert in the starting lineup from time to time. But no, if D'Lo signs elsewhere, that would not surprise me.
I would have. If I was gonna between the three of these players, I would have rather took Fred VanVleet, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, he's an all-star level player, of course.
But I mean, it depends on the price tag that Fred. I think it was rumors that he might be getting 30 a year, which is wild.
Absurd. But
that
at the
feels
same
right
time,
for a guy
if
like
your
him,
Lakers,
Yeah, it is. It's just that for us, it's wild. Like
That's
we
true.
can't afford that.
Real quick, best forwards available. So I don't think we've had any recently signed with anybody. So again, those are some of the guys that have gotten signed to deals today.
I
Obviously,
think Kelly Oubre, PJ Washington,
good scoring wings.
Darius Basley, like that kid can score, man.
Yep.
I heard that Kelly Oubre might go back to Charlotte.
Yeah, I'm sure if the money's there, why not?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see again.
Wenyen,
Christian Wood, who I brought up earlier.
Wenyen Gabriel has a place in this league, man. Anybody that gets a Wenyen Gabriel, they're gonna get a heady player, plays hard. You know what I mean?
Yep. Good role player off the bench.
I am curious to see where PJ Washington goes. I mean, he's restricted, so he may not go anywhere. But I think he's a very, interesting player. Jalen McDaniels is an interesting forward. The guy can play defense.
Yep.
So, I'm curious to see what happens with him too. Jeff Green is still playing well. Blake Griffin.
I was just about to mention Jeff Green. Like that. That's
yeah.
People. Obviously, he can still play. He can knock down the occasional three. Still at the age he's at, can still dunk on somebody's head.
Look out for Jeff Green. Jeff Green may take the vet men to go to Phoenix. I can see that happening.
Ooh, listen, the relationship with KD, that would make sense.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
So they could sure use him, especially that veteran leadership. Like people laugh at that, but you see some of these like Mike Duffs where he's talking to guys on the bench, he's talking to Jamal Murray. That stuff really matters, especially in a place like Phoenix, which is kind of topsy turvy right now. That'd be a good spot for him.
To be honest with you, Bryson, I wouldn't be shocked if Jeff Green and Blake Griffin end up in Phoenix.
Well, Blake Griffin, I wouldn't get that move.
Just for depth, they would do it just for depth.
Okay. Let's see. I'm looking again. Mo Wagner's productive player in this league. Again, Sarge. I'm waiting for the Sarge to Golden State news anytime now. I'm starting to get a little nervous. Who else we got? Obviously, Rui, I assume, is coming back to the Lakers. I would be stunned if he goes elsewhere. Christian Wood.
Rui's going nowhere. And if Rob Pelinka, then nowhere.
Yeah, I'm with you. Christian Wood, again, we talked about him earlier, his market, and didn't play all that well at the end of the season. Let's look at real quick at free agent centers. There's a lot of centers that have gotten signed for long-term deals. Pirtle, Porzingis just signed a 2-year deal to stay in Boston. Vucevic, Drummond opted into his deal. So you still got guys, Lopez and Plumlee are the two best guys in the market right now. Kevin Love, even at his advanced stages, is capable of knocking down open shot. He had a good game 2 of the finals with Miami. Parnell, anybody who stands out to you? Again, it's sort of drying up a little bit. Your Bulls taking 2 guys off there with Vucevic and Drummond. Anybody stands out to you?
Believe it or not, I actually like Bismack Biyombo.
Yeah, he's a nice backup center.
Yeah, nice backup center. Can give you the rebounding, particularly on the offensive side of the court. Why not him? Kevin Love. I don't know what Miami's going to do. Should they keep him? I wouldn't mind him staying in Miami because of the leadership, the veteranship. We all know Brook Lopez is the one that stands out. I would not want to see him with the Lakers. At least stay in Milwaukee if Brook Lopez and Thomas Bryant Like, what are you gonna do with him? Should he go to the
Yeah.
Lakers?
No, we don't want him.
Hey, posted up on the LeBron record shot. Props to him. That's what got him out of
Yeah,
there.
talking about he demanded a trade. Get out of here. Get out of
Hey, he's a champion now. He's a champion.
here. Well, he can be a champion at Home Depot next year too.
Oh, that's not nice. That's not nice. Let's see. Okay, real quick fun fact, and this was 30 minutes ago, so we've had deals since then. According to Sportsnet stats, NBA teams have committed a reported $1.02 billion in salaries within the first hour of free agency. Man,
Wow.
props to these agents and props to these players getting their bag. Let's see. Trying to check. Doesn't look like we have any updates. We'll stay. If y'all care to stick around for another 15, see if anything else breaks. That sound good with y'all?
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Yeah, I can stay for another 15 more minutes.
Yeah. Just see if anything else breaks. So again, as far as let's talk about a team that I think is going to have a solid year, and this is going to be kind of a crossroads year in terms of the development of their roster, and that's Sacramento. Obviously, put up a good fight against my Warriors in the first round. They bring back Harrison Barnes. They made the trade, which kind of went under the radar because it's free agency, but they made the trade for the kid from Indiana, Duarte, who I think is a really, really talented young player. Don't love them adding another guard because it feels like they're a little bit, they're fine in that regard. Barry, do you see anybody maybe, again, I could put up the graphic, guards, forward, centers, maybe someone they could add to put them in that next level to maybe win a playoff series?
No, I don't think that there's anybody out there that's going to change life for Sacramento. I think it's more of they just have to kind of get better within the margin. So I think they can use some quality backups in the front court, I believe.
Yeah.
So if they could add a Bismack Biyombo, if they can add a Jeff Green, if they can add a Dario Saric, somebody like that, then that would now give them a little bit more depth, and especially defensively too. You're looking for, because they're not a great defensive team.
No,
so if you can be able to add, if you can be able to add some guys that have some defensive chops, that could be able to not necessarily be good as a positional defender, but as more of a team defender. That's where they're going to be able to kind of like, really sharpen their skills there in regards to team defensive concepts and getting more sharp there with their rotations. They were very late on their rotations. Guys just, they're not defensive guys, but if they can get guys that are very good team defenders, I think you're going to see, Sacramento stay where they were last year and then kind of, possibly elevate as well. So, they just have to improve in the margins there in the front court from what I'm seeing.
Real quick, this just came in from The Athletic about 30 seconds ago. Dennis Schroeder will likely leave the Lakers after this Vincent deal. That's just make it official. So
as soon as I heard that, man, I knew that Dennis was going, which is that's a huge loss.
Man, just hate it for Dennis. Listen, I know it's his decision, but I hate the fact that he didn't sign that long-term extension a couple of years back. Man, really, you want to talk about fumbling the bag?
Yeah,
goodness. That was devastating. Let's see. And I've also read reports they might team up with Billy Donovan in Chicago. Obviously, they were together for a time there in Oklahoma City. So, yeah. I mean
that would be nice. That would be nice.
2-year deal for Joe Ingles, $22 million with the Orlando Magic.
Okay.
That's good for them. Good role player. They're very, very young team.
Can shoot.
Good shooter. It's a good get for them. Good get for Orlando. Listen, I'm more of a Paolo guy than you are, Barry. I think he's a guy who can, for the time being, build around. But nice get by Orlando. Nice shooter.
Barry just doesn't like Duke players. That's his problem.
I'm a Duke fan.
You don't like Kyrie.
Wow.
You don't
good
like
get,
Zion.
real quick. Good get for the Phoenix Suns. Watanabe, remember him from the Brooklyn Nets?
Oh yes, yes.
Phoenix.
Wow,
that's a good deal for them.
Mid-level?
No deals on that. Just says Shams Charania says free agent Utah Watanabe has agreed to a deal with the Phoenix Suns. Sources tell me.
Yeah, that kid can shoot, man.
Yes, he can.
Yeah,
that's a good deal for Phoenix.
Yeah, that's a good.
Here's the only thing is, who's their point guard? It can't be Campaign. He's not a natural point.
Right. It might just be Devin Booker.
Okay.
Or KD at best.
I can see Devin Booker being or look out for Pat Bev going to Phoenix.
Please,
I'm telling you.
happen.
I'm telling you, it's
Oh
gonna
gosh,
happen.
I'd love to see that.
Can we
Listen,
please
I kind of like Pat Bev as a guy. I don't hold the same feelings towards him that I do Dylan Brooks, but I would love to see that. When you look at Pat Bev's history, everywhere he goes, they get better when he leaves. Like he's like
Right.
the Russell Westbrook of the NBA, the way less talented Russell Westbrook of the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. I'm looking at Bobby Marks breaking down the Warriors cap situation. I don't want to hear all that. Listen, we'll make that up down the road when we win 2 more Larry O'Briens, and then we'll go to tank mode in 5 years. That's okay. That's okay.
Oh man.
Jay Crowder's still in the market.
Jay
Think he goes
Crowder,
anywhere?
and he will stay on the market because he's getting a bad rap.
I heard some bad stuff with him in Phoenix, but let's see. Okay, so yeah, this is still no news on. Let's see, Barry froze there. It looks like his internet connection is out. We're gonna there he is. Okay, Barry's back. So yeah, no news yet on the Watanabe deal with Phoenix, but that's one of the better. That reminds me a little bit of the Bruce Brown pickup by the Nuggets last year. We're kind of under the radar, but good, solid role player. But again, who's going to get them the ball? Because again, Phoenix isn't short on guys that create their own
How much
shots.
do you think KD had something to do with that? How much do you think KD had
I'm sure he had
something to do
input.
with that?
I'm sure he had input. But
I don't understand why teams haven't learned by now. Don't listen to KD.
yeah, it's not tended to work out. All he had to do, Kevin, was stay in Golden State and win, God knows how many championships. That's all you had to do.
Yeah, just go in and just win your 7 championships and be good.
KD didn't want to do that. He wanted, legacy.
It hurt his like, I don't buy that legacy nonsense.
No,
don't-
Bryson,
I don't buy that.
if he wasn't worried about his legacy, why do you think he joined Golden State? He wanted to put himself in the best position possible to win championships. He thought he can build a super team in Brooklyn with Kyrie and James Harden.
I agree with you there, partner. I think at that time, he was thinking about legacy. I think when he left Golden State, I don't think he was thinking about legacy at all.
Because maybe now that he's won the championships and finals MVPs, now all of a sudden he feels validated where he doesn't give a shit anymore.
I don't know. I think he just wants a championship his way, and I don't think it's KD doesn't care about winning anymore. That's not how he's wired. But I think he would have went to Golden State if that was the case.
Right.
I'll tell you the story I talked about yesterday on my show. The story, I'm sure y'all feel the same way. I'm a huge Dame fan, but it is one of those. It's up there with the Dak contract negotiation and the Lamar contract negotiations of stories I'm just sick and tired of. It's like make a move, Portland, to trade him or keep him. I think they should trade him. I think it's the most obvious move in the NBA. You got a good young core. You got the most coveted asset in the NBA right now. The move for Portland's obvious, but hey, who knows? I don't know what, but listen, they kept Jeremy Grant, so
They did.
I don't know.
The Pacers have a great deal. I'm going back to the Bruce Brown deal. It's a team option for that second year.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's a great deal. Yeah, keep him around keep him around. See if he's a good vet. I'm just looking at the news right now, talking about Dylan Brooks meeting with the Lakers, Bucks, Mavs, and Rockets. Didn't know there was that kind of a market for Dylan Brooks, but
yeah, that was early on. I don't know if the Lakers are. Yeah, my goodness, Gabe Vincent.
Shake Milton has agreed to a deal with Minnesota. Nice backup.
Oh,
y'all weren't gonna get Shake. Come on, man. Shake's a nice backup point guard, though. I like it.
Listen, I had my own free agency list. Javon Carter, Shake Milton, Dennis, Brook Lopez, all these guys on the list.
Well, I remember you got real excited. You shouldn't have traded him, but you got real excited last year about signing my man Toscano Anderson, and you should have kept him. But I wouldn't be mad if we brought him back. I'm just looking at Golden State's roster. Part of the issue is we got one center. That's the issue. Kevon, I'm not saying we got to build around bigs like Philadelphia did when they had.
No, but you got to get yourself
known for small ball.
They need some size. They need a guy that's just a big body. You know what I mean?
Which is why I liked adding Trace Jackson Davis. Kind of got him late in that second round. I think he was kind of a steal from where he was drafted. But yeah, listen, I'm still holding out hope for Brook Lopez. If he wants to come win another championship and we can move Looney to the bench potentially, that would be beautiful. Another you bring out with his 3-point shooting ability, a stretch 5, you can bring out the center for the other team out in the 3-point line. That'd be amazing.
Right.
And he's a great shot blocker because that's the
he's
thing
a
about
great
Looney.
shot
He's a great defensive player, or great rebounder, I should say. Great defensive rebounder, but that's never been really his forte is interior defense. It's 2 years, $10 million for Shake Milton with
Okay.
the Timberwolves. So nice deal for him. Nice deal for him. Again, Minnesota. I feel like the one trade we're not talking about is Karl-Anthony Towns to the Knicks. I think that makes a lot of sense. Is it Julius Randle potentially? Because I know I read today that with the whole James Harden situation, New York is monitoring Philadelphia. At least trying to see if
Yeah.
they'd be interested. But I highly doubt they do that.
If the Knicks want Cat, they would definitely most likely have to part with either Mitchell or
Randall.
Or Randall. Yeah.
I think you would probably, if you're the Knicks, you should give up Randall because you've seen. I mean,
I agree.
He's too inconsistent in the playoffs. And plus, my problem with him, he constantly settles for too many jump shots instead of using his size. I mean, he's 6'9", 250, 260. He can post up. Why not just do that more often instead of settling for threes? And he hits a lot of contested shots, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
So with Karl there, he's a better shooter, obviously, than Julius Randle. He stretches the floor a little bit. Karl can give you 23 and 10 if he wanted to. So I think I like that. Plus for Jalen Brunson as well, because that can just stretch the floor up. I just think, man, I mean, it's just shocking, but Brook Lopez is still available.
He's got a lot of offers to consider. I think that's what it is. He's got plenty offers out there. One of which has to come from Golden State.
But again, this is something that you needed. You needed a shooter, and you can't go wrong in this era with shooting. The more shooters you have, the better you are.
I agree. I understand that, Parnell. But the thing is, I need the Lakers to not have Anthony Davis play center.
Well, that's not going to happen. That's
not at this point, unless you
right.
get
That's what I'm saying.
Unless you get a role player who can play the 5 position. Dwight Howard's still available, but I'm quite sure
Dwight Howard ain't coming from China. Him. He ain't coming from China. No, yeah. He's recruiting everybody over there, which hey, good for him. He seems to have. It's messed up though. Dwight ain't got a job in the NBA though. That's crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
Listen, I was never a big Dwight Howard guy when he played. I thought he was one of the more overrated bigs in the history of the game, but he's still a very good, role player at this stage of his career. So
I thought he should have made the NBA's top 75.
Look, Bryson, I'm gonna step out, but I'll watch the rest of the program, man.
All right, appreciate Barry stopping by on vacation, man. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Take it easy, Barry.
Barry Grant Jr. But yeah, what were you saying, Parnell?
I think Dwight should have made the top 75. You disagree with me with that, but at the same time, how am I supposed to ignore 8 All-Star appearances, 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards, all of them consecutive seasons? He did lead that Orlando Magic team to the NBA Finals in 2009, and in the following year, they lost into the Eastern Conference Finals against the Boston Celtics.
Sure.
At that point, was the best big man in the game. The problems with Dwight were he didn't develop offensively as far as his post moves and free throw shooting and the personality. People just thought he didn't really take basketball seriously. The headaches, all the other stuff. And then, of course, injuries later into his career with the bad back and more. So I think, look, Anthony Davis is in the top 75.
Yeah, I would have been more keen putting a guy like Vince Carter in the top 20, in the top 75 players of all time that thought Vince should have made it. I'm going to sound horrible here. I wasn't as mad as a lot of Warriors fans about Klay Thompson not making it. I listen, given the criteria, the fact that they kept the original top 50 players of all time and they weren't going to take all of them out, which I understand that, you're not going to disrespect some of the greats of years past. Cause listen, they helped put the guys in position where they are now. But if it is like truly the greatest 75 players of all time, yeah, I think Dwight's in that class. I just never viewed him as a guy you could build your franchise around. And I know he had that one run to the finals, but that's about it. And as the game evolved, he didn't evolve with it, and that's what got him.
Definitely. So I felt like he just didn't take his basketball career as seriously as you kind of thought he should have. And that's the situation with Ben Simmons. I mean, Ben Simmons, I get he has mental issues, but I just don't think he truly loves basketball. I really don't.
No. Yeah, I think it's been pretty apparent. I mean, the guy is, and we talk about, there's plenty of guys, and Mike and I talked about it during the NBA draft. There's a lot of guys that come in that can't shoot. But I mean, Lonzo Ball to me is the prime example. God bless Lonzo Ball. Hope he's able to get in the court at some point. But Lonzo had the weirdest, funkiest jump shot in the history of the NBA draft.
Sure
Ended up
did.
becoming like a 40% 3-point shooter. So you can't, shooting of all things, you can absolutely get better at. Some guys will be better than others. Some guys are just naturally talented at that. But the Simmons, that was the only hole in his game, and he has yet to improve it. So that is what it is. If we don't get any deals in the next 60 seconds, I think we're going to go ahead and get off here. Because I mentioned
I gotta
15
leave
minutes.
I gotta leave in like in a few minutes.
Yeah, Matt. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show, Parnell, and shout out to Barry as well. This was fun. Like, it started with Draymond Green, so got to start off the right foot. And listen, free agencies just going to continue today and tomorrow, this weekend, and trades with James Harden. So
We should definitely do more of this. I mean, I can't wait for these types of group discussions, especially around football season.
it's going to be so fun. I cannot wait. I cannot listen. Football season, June 30th. We're 2.5 months away. Let's go. Absolutely. We're 2 months away from college football. So that's gonna be fun as well. No doubt about it.
And then the preseason. I mean, even though a lot of people are not tuned into the preseason, I'm actually tuned into this preseason because I'm always interested to see the rookies, and I'm always interested in hearing the players that haven't had a lot of hype, haven't had a lot of narratives about them. So it's always interesting to see what they're about. So,
we'll see
and
what
of
happens
course, Hard Knocks.
Well, I was going to say Jets are probably going to end up on Hard Knocks, even though they reportedly don't want it, which why would they? I don't think anybody wants to be on Hard Knocks. But
it's all because of Aaron Rodgers.
It's all Aaron Rodgers. It's the offseason moves. So the Jets are going to be a team to watch, no doubt about it. But NBA free agency special, Parnell, any last thoughts before we get out of here?
Nothing, man. Please go follow my man Bryson. And I know a lot of people have given you a lot of heat because of your Trevor Lawrence take. You had in that top 3, but still, I actually think Herbert. Even though I have no problem with you saying Trevor Lawrence over Herbert. I got no problem with it at all. I do not have. I mean, it's your list. Hey, I don't have a problem with it at all. But go like and follow and subscribe to Bryson stuff, as well as like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Sports PSP. Release the video. Hopefully, I'll probably do another podcast about the free agency and more, and some more NFL news, man.
Yes, sir, man. Parnell, awesome stuff as always, and looking forward to having you on the show once again, man. Have a good one.
You too, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Parnell of the Commanders Demand podcast and of Sports PSP as well. Awesome stuff here at the Grid. So, it doesn't look like we're getting any free agent news anytime soon, but we had some big ones. I'm trying to look through the list here. Let's see. We got the graphics. So, centers that were signed. So, we had Jakob Poeltl back to Toronto. Again, some of those were already signed. So that was really our only big center that signed in the last hour and a half or so, hour 45. Free agent forwards, we had a lot of deals. My man Draymond Green back to Golden State, which really made my day, no question about it. Kyle Kuzma staying with the Wizards, which I thought for certain he was going to Sacramento. Middleton staying with Milwaukee. Jeremy Grant, no surprise there, staying with the Portland Trailblazers, although contrary to what Dane reportedly believes, I don't think this puts them a whole heck of a lot closer to title contention. We got Cam Johnson re-signed with Brooklyn. Good deal for him. Good deal for the Nets. Taurean Prince to the Lakers. Good 3-and-D guy for them. George Niang to the Cavs. Drew Eubanks to the Suns. I really like what Phoenix is doing right now. Listen, I didn't think they'd have a whole lot of cap space to make some moves in free agency, but I'm starting to I should say I'm starting to drink the Suns Kool-Aid. I still see them behind Denver, behind Golden State, behind the Lakers. But, listen, they're absolutely going to win a playoff series. But, of course, the Kyrie Irving thing is off the table since Kyrie Irving went to Dallas. We also got Trey Lyles, by the way, staying in Sacramento. Trey Lyles had a solid postseason, especially that first round against my Warriors. That's all the centers that were off the board. And then guards, we had a ton of guards go. So Karis LeVert staying with Cleveland. Max Strus reportedly going to sign with the Cavs. Bruce Brown, first shocker of the day to the Indiana Pacers, 2 years. And as Barry mentioned, with a team option, $45 million. Props to him on getting the bag after getting a championship in Denver. Kyrie Irving, 3 years. Listen, Kyrie would have been an idiot to not take a 3-year deal from anybody, especially Dallas. And the Mavs, as I've detailed for a long time now, did not have a choice but to keep Kyrie Irving. Trey Jones back to San Antonio. I think that was 2 years, $10.25 mil for him. Reggie Jackson stays with the champion Nuggets. Gabe Vincent to the Lakers, Javon Carter to the Bulls. So there you go. That's our free agent look to this point. Those are the guys that I had in my graphic beforehand. And again, we'll have our free agency tracker potentially on Monday's show. Looks like we have potentially a lot more deals down the pipeline. So it's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun. NBA free agency throughout the rest of today, this weekend. Oh, this is my favorite time of the NBA off-season calendar, with all due respect to the draft, which is fun as well. All right. After nearly 2 hours of coverage, that is all the time we have for today's episode of Carving Up Live. Shout out to Parnell. Shout out to Barry. Great stuff from both of them today. As always, check out their shows in the grid. And be sure to like, share, comment, and take 2 seconds out of your day. Hit that big red subscribe button. It helps Carving It Up. It helps this channel grow exponentially. And be sure, of course, to go subscribe to the Grid Network. That is GRYD, the Grid Podcast Network, here on YouTube and any and everywhere you get your favorite podcast, be it Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, any and everywhere you get your favorite podcast. We would certainly appreciate if the Grid is in your wheelhouse, if it's in your your favorite podcast. Certainly so with Carving It Up Live. All right. That is all for our free agency special. Going to be, I'm sure, a ton of news breaks over the next 72 hours before Carving It Up on Monday at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific time. So very, very excited about that. So hope everybody has a great weekend. Please continue to stay safe out there. Please be sure to take care of your physical as well as your mental health. And please, please, please be sure to call your local state representatives and senators to demand change for gun violence here in America. Stay safe out there. Have a great weekend. God bless you all. Peace out. Draymond's back, baby. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube. Be sure to click that big red subscribe button and go check out the other clips and full shows of Carving It Up Live. Have a blessed day.